right, so this right here is a perfect reflection of the time of year. Stuffed butternut squash. When it starts to get cool and you want something warm and savory, this is a great dish. Of course, it's made with no oil, no refined sugar, no wheat, no rice. Healthy vegan style. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your own. Okay, so to make this delicious stuffed squash, we only need a few ingredients. I'm going to be using butternut squash, some of my veggie ground, some chopped celery, some tomato paste, some onions, some garlic, some sage, and some tiger nut crumbs that I made myself. I'm using butternut squash, but you could use this same recipe to stuff pumpkin or to stuff a different type of squash, even a sweet potato. So the stuffing is versatile. I just choose butternut squash. It's the right time of year, and I love them. They're so good. As far as my veggie ground, if you're not familiar with it, it's my replacement for ground beef. So for things like spaghetti and tacos, if you're not familiar with the recipe, you can tap right here. And if you tap this link, it'll take you to the video that'll show you how to make the veggie ground step by step. Same thing with the crumbs. I have an almond crumb recipe that shows you how to make your own almond crumbs, so you don't have to buy wheat crumbs from the store. If you want to see the recipe video for making it step by step, tap here and it'll take you to the video to show you how to make the almond crumbs. So this is what we're using to make our stuffing, to stuff our squash. Let's get to it. Okay, so the first step is an obvious one. We're going to cut our squash and then get all of our seeds removed. All right, and the next step is to make the delicious stuffing that's going to give this thing all its flavor. And again, I went over the ingredients with you. I'm going to take my veggie ground, some crumbs. Okay, and after I add my celery and my crumbs, I'm going to finish this off by adding some onions and some seasonings, which will give the stuffing a really great flavor. Then I'm going to add some tomato paste to bring it all together. And now it's time to move to our next step. All right, so now I've cooked my squash and it's somewhat cool. I've got my stuffing made, so now it's time to stuff the squash. Now, when you look at these butternut squash, you'll see that they have a pretty small cavity. It takes up about half of the whole face of the squash. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoop out some of the squash to make a bigger cavity for stuffing these. And that way, I've got a lot more flavor. Now, a lot of people might think, but what do I do with the part that I removed? It's gonna go right here in our stuffing. And we're gonna mix it in with our stuffing really well to create even more flavor, and it'll blend perfectly when we stuff the squash. So I'm gonna scoop it out here also. And add it as well. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. All right, so now I've got my squash and my stuffing. Now I'm just gonna mix it really well to combine it and then put it right back into our squash. Now when it comes to a dish like this stuffed butternut squash, the thing that adds the flavor is the stuffing. So I like to put a lot of it in my squash. So I really press it down and pack it in there because I want these to be super flavorful. And just like that, they're ready for the oven. All right, so now I've got my squash stuffed and man, do they look good. Now the last step is I'm gonna get them back in the oven and give them a quick bake. And while they're in the oven, we're gonna make some delicious, healthy, vegan cheese sauce. All right, now for the finishing touches. I've got the squash cooked and it's ready for the cheese sauce. I'm gonna put my cheese sauce on, then a few more spices, and then it's time for a taste test. If you'd like to see the recipe for this cheese sauce, you can tap on the link in your upper right hand corner of your screen right now, and it will take you to the recipe. I'm putting a generous amount of cheese sauce because, well, it tastes so good, and it blends perfectly with the stuffing and the squash. I'm going to top it off by putting some hemp seeds and some chili flakes on top. Now this is totally optional, but why would you leave them out? It gives it even more flavor. All right, I've got my cheese sauce and my seasonings on. You can see it looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure it's gonna taste delicious. I can't wait to try it. Let's do it. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. I've had this many times before, so it's no surprise how good this is. I'm telling you, if you like savory with lots of flavor, this is a dish for you. So many flavors, balanced perfectly. I love me some stuffed butternut squash. Gotta try this one. So I've had a lot of people write me and ask me how to find the recipes to the cooking show videos like the one you just watched. If you're having trouble finding the recipe, look below the video for the word more. Tap on the word more and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more again and the full recipe will appear, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.